drunk, that's actually kind of a good segue.
Oh,
To the
jeez.
weekend I had. So as I kind of spoke last podcast, I had my sister and her husband come over, and
Mm.
I get it, 7 people in one house. At the moment, with everything going on, it's a bit much. Plus 4 dogs. It's a little tight. It's a little tight. But we still did it. It's still fun.
Yeah, there you go.
But we were all kind of respectable and everything with
There you go.
everything going on. But with it being Mother's Day weekend and when my brother was supposed to graduate, it didn't really happen. But they were originally supposed to come down for that. We haven't seen them since I think like a week or so before Christmas.
Gotcha.
It's
Oh,
been a
wow.
little while since we saw them, so they decided to
Yeah,
come visit. Why
there you
not?
go.
It's kind of like when you went to go see Danny. It's just more
Yeah.
people, but it's fine.
It's one person, Whitmer.
I know it's different, but you get it.
No, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But in it, we actually had Friday. We didn't really do it. They came in Thursday night, and we didn't really do anything Thursday. Friday, we kind of just sat around because my dad and brother had to work. I didn't. Saturday I had to work, but after that, this is where it starts getting fun.
Oh, jeez.
So we did our grad pictures. Took like 5 seconds because it was like cold and kind of windy outside.
Yeah.
And we couldn't really stay outside for that long because it was really cold out. But we did take some grad pictures with Mitch and everything. He borrowed my hat from when I graduated 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Wait, did he go to Westchester though?
Yeah, he did, but it was still black.
Because Bloomsburg, your colors were what, like black and white?
Black, and the tassel was maroon and gold.
Maroon. Okay, it was maroon. Yeah.
But we had like a little Disney joking kind of one from when he graduated
That's funny.
high school that was blue, or sorry, that was yellow, and we just put that one on there because purple and yellow.
He's a tassel on it now.
Yeah, tassel. Yeah, it's all right. We know you barely passed 5th grade.
I got a higher GPA in college than you guys, though.
You didn't pass 5th grade.
He did.
Somehow.
See, he's passing. That's what I told myself in college.
Yep. It's easy to get degrees, fellas.
But after that, that's when we started drinking. Because somehow during that day, my sister, her husband, Mitch, got the idea to play beer pong with the family, which would be the first time my parents have ever played beer pong.
Oh, boy.
And us celebrating my brother graduating and everything. And
of course.
We did that. We did teams, and even with that, we actually put money up with our beer pong.
Yo, nice.
We played a tournament, and we played it. The only time we did money was the first time we played. I think it was like I'll put like $10 in, and if we didn't have it, just Venmo it. But
solid.
40 was for the winner, and I think like.
Nice.
If you got in second, you just kind of got your money back.
You get your money back,
and third, you got nothing. Because
there you
go. My brother Matt didn't play, so it was just the 6 of us: my parents, me, Mitch, and then my sister and her husband.
Okay, there you go.
We just drew out of a hat. We just put our names in, and whoever went, you went 2 in a row. If you went 1, the next person, they were a team. So in that, it was Mitch and Cole, my sister's husband. Me and my dad, and then Melissa and my mom.
There you go.
I made it to the championship game, lost to Mitch and Cole, which really isn't that much of a surprise when you think of the teams.
I was about to say,
no.
That's a bit unfair. But I did get my money back. And in between playing that first game and every other game, we decided to play Flip Cup.
Oh, no. Yikes.
Game.
And it was me, my dad, and my sister, and then Mitch, Cole, and my mom. Again, we drew names out of a hat to decide the teams.
There you
and we played multiple times, probably about 6, maybe 7 times of Flip Cup. By this point, I had already had whiskey, a little bit of beer to go with Flip Cup, because there's nothing else you're going to take with Flip Cup other than beer. I had a little bit of a wine cooler because my beer went out, and I just finished off what my mom had. So I had a little bit of that. So I did a little bit of double dipping on the alcohol, which you're not really supposed to do, but, it's a party. And it was getting louder and louder. Thank God we aren't in an apartment or anything, and the houses are kind of spread out. Even though you could probably still hear us, but we were doing a lot of shouting, especially when we went back to beer pong. Everyone was drunk. Everyone played with each other at least once. And the sad part is we started at like 4, and we were dead by like 8. And then,
dang.
And then, because we were like,
you guys are wild.
Because when that ended, we were just like, okay, let's just sit down for a second, then we'll do something else. Play board game, because the night before we played Trivial Pursuit. Do something like that.
Did you even get to a board game?
No. Once we sat down, we were done. We watched the UFC fights that were on Saturday.
Solid.
And then watch while my dad fell asleep on the chair next to us. It was about 8 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah,
what a weekend.
But we went great. We went pretty rough with it too.
Yeah, clearly.
If I had to say, it was probably the drunkest I've gotten since college.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I haven't really. I've gone to the bars like here and there.
Yeah.
With the family here and there, but I've never gotten that bad.
Right.
But when my sister and her husband are in town,
then it's more drinking.
It's more drinking, and it's fun. It's lively, and thankfully no hangover, because we were celebrating my
brother.
We celebrated our brother and everything. So the problem with me drinking before is that my stomach never meets up with my drinking, so at some point I'm usually vomiting. It's never really alcohol related. It's usually because I haven't really eaten enough.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's what happened a couple times. Those stories I don't know if they'll ever come up on this podcast, but maybe if there was an After Nights podcast, we do, maybe. But
y'all, do you guys like playing board games?
Yeah.
It's
a little bit of something to do, but it's.
I mean in general. I know,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Yeah, my
even
family.
Before quarantining, we would play every once in a blue moon.
There you go.
Do like a card game, kind of a domino game, or even play a board game here and there. But now that we're quarantining, we're doing it more often.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, for my family, kind of going off of that though, we love playing board games. We love playing card games and everything, and we get very competitive. Oh my god! Like my mom and I,
that's the one thing, we get really competitive when you're doing beer pong.
I believe it. I can see that.
My sister was being so loud. She was cheering for my mom the whole time whenever she make a cup. Mom kept being, well, I'm going to be the worst person on the team, so I'm just going to bring down everybody. But she was just hustling everybody, and she was, at the end of it, was the best person. Because
that's awesome.
Beer pong logic, the more you drink, the better you are.
Fair enough.
Prove me wrong.
That's fantastic. But so for my family,
the more you think you're better.
Yeah, right. In your head, you're like, yeah, I'm making every shot, and in the reality, it's like going way left.
Yep.
But no, we certainly enjoy playing board games and everything, card games. The other night, we were playing this game called Liverpool. It's a card game, and by the end of it, my dad was killing us. And yes, the soccer team. And oh yeah,
that joke's for the win.
And but so my mom and I, we were fighting for basically bragging rights for second place. So just like in golf, the lowest score wins. My dad had, by the time the game ended, it was like
that's
6.
how you play golf?
Apparently, yeah.
No,
but
no.
I thought I won when I got the higher score. I guess not.
But anyway, so my dad had like 64, 65. My mom and I were in the mid 400s. So we were, yeah, it was pretty close. But so we were fighting for second place, bragging rights, and I only beat her by like 15, 20 some points. But yeah, so even after that, we were just shouting everything. We weren't even drinking. That was the worst part of it.
See, for me, for when we're playing board games, especially more so, I guess, when we're playing either friends or like family, like we do here, it's more fun. Like if you're playing like what we would do with like playing Halo, like Halo Reach, and do like zombies or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
We're doing it with friends. You're kind of shit talking a bit, but
yeah,
you're also having fun. You're just making jokes and everything. It's like a fun like hangout kind of thing, and that's what we kind of do with board games. The board games itself are like fun to do, but in that, like,
it's even better with the people you're with.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like doing it here. That's the one thing that's kind of kept me going through this and this podcast. That's kind of kept me sane through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm not a big fan of board games. I like them.
I can see that.
I can get it. I get it. It's not for everyone.
I like card games better.
Yeah.
Better.
Especially the ones where you drink for this.
We did have one time where my dad was getting pretty drunk, where my brother just goes, "We should play poker right now," because my dad already doesn't have a great poker face. So we're like, "We should just play poker right now, just cause."
Yeah, I'm good at poker. I like poker. I like card games.
Awesome.
But I don't like board games. I'm like, my family always likes.
I get it.
I'm just kind of like, no.
I feel like it's either you're all for board games like we are, or just like,
you have to be in a mood for them.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I know, like my dad's side of the family, and I was doing all these games online with each other. I'm sitting, I'm like, they're like, you should join. I'm like, no.
No, I don't want to.
No. I'm like, thank you for offering, but no.
Yeah.
Because
not my thing.
What am I gonna do? Sit in front of a computer and click a button?
Apparently.
Yeah.
I think that defeats the like.
Yeah, that does.
Play together. I'm like, we can't talk. Like this is, so I'm just like, I'm not gonna do it. You should.
Just leave me out of it.
This is completely random, but it's been bugging me for some reason. Is the calendar behind you, Brian, up to date? How far off is the calendar?
100% not up to date. I can tell you that right now. That's December.
That's December?
It's December. Yeah, it's December.
Oh, awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not up to date at all.
That's great.
Actually, everything in here that you see isn't ours. Besides, there's blackboards. Nothing else is ours.
Really?
Yeah.
Whose are they?
Stagers.
Yeah. Right.
It's the stagers. None of this stuff is ours.
Okay, oh wow. I got you.
Like I can name.
I'm Michael, and this is Jeff.
My name is like ours. But yeah. No.
Wow. I never would have guessed that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Half my house is just staged, so
yeah.
I don't even know. It's not mine.
Right.
How weird is that it's staged right now?
I mean, it's been like this.
He's used to it.
Well, yeah, obviously you're used to it, but now it's like it must feel weird though. Still.
Why would it feel weird?
I think it'd be weirder once it's actually
maybe at first, so like where it's like one day it's your house and
I'm used to it because this house has been on the market for 3 years now.
It's been that long?
Yeah. 2 years. Would you feel any different once you're actually out of the house? Like you've lived here all your life, but like once you're out of it and everything, would it feel different?
Yeah, because I lived here. I lived in this area for my entire life.
Yeah.
I grew up right down the road. We moved here. So it would be.
I'm the same way.
So it would be a little weird, but I've also, when you're in college, you live away from home.
Right.
Right.
So I'm kind of like also like.
But still, when you come home, you're still coming to this house.
I mean, yeah, but a lot of times, like, but for me, for the past couple of times, like, I really haven't. I went down to Florida.
True, you were just kind of there for sleeping and eating.
Yeah, I would
pretty much.
Especially the past year, I came home and I would only come home for like a month.
Right.
Just kind of say like classes would end in early December, mid-December, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd come home through the holidays, so right after New Year's. Depending who left, depending who stayed, I would say
Right.
Not I left.
Right.
That makes sense.
Because I was like, a lot of my friends are still back in college. I have my apartment that I'm paying for.
So you might as well stay there, you know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why, like when I was
get as much use out of it as possible.
School ended when we graduated. I stayed there when we graduated. I stayed there for about 2 weeks afterwards. Went to Florida for a week. I came back and went back to my apartment for like a month or two, for a month, and then I worked at camp. And but I'd still every now and then on the weekends go back because I had it till July or whatever.
Right.
So then I went back to it. So I almost my entire. So basically, even after I graduated, I didn't go back home to this house till June.
Wow.
Until I had to work.
Right. And even then you were working or hanging out with people.
Yeah. So I mean, leaving is not a big deal to me. I'm ready to move out anyway. I feel ready. There's my own place.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.